The incident is definitely very painful, and it also has to do a lot with the kind of aspirations that we have these days. The corporate ecosystem, which is again driven a lot by the tangibles of the industry, and all these things come together to create that pressure.
We cannot avoid the stress, but we can manage the stress internally.
Due to that stress, people switch over the companies from one organization to another.
So they work for at least 16-17 hours every day, and they don't get time to rejuvenate. I'll appeal to the government also that we should come up with a specific policy looking at the things, because our corporate sector is day by day is growing in India.
The incident is definitely very painful, and it also has to do a lot with the kind of aspirations that we have these days, and majority of which come from the compulsive obsession for owning a lot of things. And it's not just the trap of corporate, but we also need to consider what makes people get into those traps in the first place, where they get under a social pressure to buy necessary certain commodities and certain things, which pushes them to get into certain profiles and domains which have pressure in the first place. And then also the corporate ecosystem, which is again driven a lot by the tangibles of the industry. And all these things come together to create that pressure. It's definitely painful. But what I think is there are means and ways in which this can be handled in a better way. And as a society, we should be taking care of it.
As a corporate, you belong to the corporate facility. How these things can be controlled, and what is your view? Is there any the issues which exist in corporate world, type of the extra work and load?
Yeah, right. So definitely, it all depends on the corporate culture, and as everyone might be aware, every company has a very different culture. So it depends from company to company what kind of a culture each company is having. That defines how much pressure is getting executed in that particular organization. But beyond that, see, what I genuinely feel, there are two things that are needed to be promoted in the society today. The first thing is compassion, and the second thing is the longing for spiritual wisdom. Because spiritual wisdom and compassion is something which can possibly reduce the possibility of such incidences. The reason being, beyond the pressures and stress that people are facing in the corporate, it drills down to the compulsion and loneliness that people are facing, and the answers to which may lie in the compassion between the management also. And also, if people are inclined towards the spiritual wisdom and they are meditating and they have means to release that stress, definitely there can be certain solutions on this. But again, it's all about the intent to promote all these things in the corporate also, and we as a society also.
Whatever happened is really unfortunate. I mean, everywhere pressure is there. People need to understand how we need to react to the stress. Okay, stress is relative. I mean, the stress which I am feeling is not the same for the other. Okay, so people need to understand what kind of stress they actually need to take and how to react to that. I can easily relate it because these things are now happening very commonly. We need to think over how we can reduce the impact on us. That's the only thing which we can manage. Stress avoid cannot be done. We cannot avoid the stress, but we can manage the stress internally, is what I can say.
So what is your view on the workload? The discussion of the talk of the town these days. What's your personal experience? Have you ever felt that stress? What is your take?
Yeah, definitely. If we are in IT, if we are working in a corporate world, stress is part of our life. It's a part and parcel. What we are doing on the ground, what we need to give it back to the customer. Days are becoming so fast. Okay, everything is happening. People need the delivery in quick time. So considering that, what we are delivering, what is being asked to us, is really important to see what the stress is and how to react to that.
Being in corporate for about more than 10 years, I have been experiencing a lot of work stress, or I've been observing as well that people are taking too much stress of work, and due to that stress, people switch over the companies from one organization to another. But with many of them, what happens is they get a good hike, but over there with good hike, they get a lot of workload also. So many of them, what they do is they switch over again, they again think of switching over to their previous organization, and the previous organization says that we got a cooling period of about a year and a half, so we cannot hire you again. Mountaineering helps me to beat my work stress. So this is my way of beating the stress of work.
Stress is always there. So being a training company, we are training people from last almost 15 to 16 years, and through the management activity. So we call it as activity holiday, because we are completely aware about their workload. So they work for at least 16-17 hours every day, and they don't get time to rejuvenate. So through our management activities, when we conduct such kind of a session, so we always make sure that we will include such kind of a session where their stress level should be very low. They should enjoy the things. They should keep their work designation aside, because yes, that is also a different kind of a pressure on all the employees in the companies. And now it is a piece and parcel of the life. When we are talking about the workload or stress, but again, how you can manage. So basically, what is my take in that also, that you should move away from the mobile, because a lot of people, when we see a lot of people are more engaging in mobile. So after their work, when they came to the home, so you should spend a good time with your family. That is one of the most important thing, where you can reduce the stress. You can start your hobby which you used to do in childhood days. So we have forgotten these all the things. Majorly, one more thing I would like to add, you should go for some travel also to reduce that stress. And when it comes to the major, so I'll appeal to the government also that we should come up with a specific policy looking at the things, because our corporate sector is day by day is growing in India. When we are talking about the youngsters, so we need to think in a very serious way that this incident which was occurred, which was very unfortunate, it should not happen again, and we need to take these kind of measures at the workplace also. And in terms of the policy, because right now there is no such a policy where it can be implemented in the organizations. Organizations are taking their own decisions at their own level, but if we come up with a specific policy, then it will be mandatory for each and every company. And health and mind health also, and careness of their health also is the most important thing.
Subscribe to Midday India. Get direct notifications on all our videos by clicking on the bell icon.